Here we are then in one of the fastest growing cities in the United States, the fabulous Austin, in the great state of Texas. The circuit itself 14 miles southeast of the city centre and home to the US Grand Prix since 2012. The latest in a long list of iconic tracks to have that honour. We have 10 turns to the left and 10 to the right here at the fantastic Circuit of the Americas. Overtaking opportunities into turns 1 and 12 at this anti-clockwise 3.6 mile track. But we may well see cars struggle to slow down there today as the wet weather does interfere with the low-speed grip. Alongside me once again for coverage of today's race, it's none other than the great Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about Gardner. That was a great win in the last race. Can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
It's always nice to come into a Grand Prix weekend on a high, but your expectations are based much more on your practice and qualifying runs. So it's the momentum from those sessions that they'll be hoping to carry into the race today.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. Looking down the rest of the grid we have Gardner, Ricciardo, George Russell and Sainz, Norris, Perez, Kvyat and Esteban Ocon, Gasly, Leclerc, Valtteri Bottas and Albon, Magnussen, Alesi, Lance Stroll and Nicholas Latifi, De Vries, Giovinazzi, Joe and Nobuharu Matsushita. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Okay, she bagged a podium result last race. Let's see if we can do the same here.
Certainly be trying, Jeff. Welcome everybody to another F1 2020 My Team JDM racing video. We're at Austin, Texas for the USA Grand Prix. And we could win the championship here, guys. If we finish 10 points in front of Hamilton, we've got the title wrapped up with only 4 races, including this one, to go. It's squeaky bum time. It is squeaky bum time. So we've just got to stay behind these two, and just at the start at least, and just try and settle in. And then we can go on the attack in the latter half of the race. It is mixed conditions, so we're going to start on the intermediates and then shift through the race. There's no pit stops, no forced anyway, and we'll see how the weather plays out. It should stay intermediate weather for the rest of the race. Lewis has been blindingly quick the whole weekend. So it's going to be difficult to beat him as he is really kicking into gear and trying to push for this championship now. And we are on the back foot a little bit, but we're going to do our best. Let's have a go. Oh, I thought we jump started. I think we just got a really good start. That was like timed to absolute perfection then. I don't think we could have got any better start than that. Now Verstappen. Oh my god, we're all over the place. And I'm looking like I've never driven on this racetrack before. We go alongside with Verstappen. We bump him. We've got Lewis alongside. We have a collision with Verstappen warning. We cannot get these tyres heated up. Come down the inside of Lewis again. Oh, it's all going off.
Alright, we're looking good so far.
Max is still in the title fight as well, remember, just a few points back from Lewis. So he needs to win to try and keep his title ambitions alive as well. Alright, we've settled in a little bit now. I think the tyres are up to temps. Russell's stuck behind Ricciardo, so he's not really able to join the fight. Been a lot of wet races this year, which has been lucky that we've had a good car in the wet.
The energy store is getting worn, reducing our overall capacity. The more charge you hold, the faster that capacity will drop.
Well, the race is coming to us a little bit now. Just had a little look. Another one.
This rain could be with us for a while. Light rain conditions for the foreseeable future. We're running an excess on fuel. Mix 3 is there if you need it. Mix 3.
All three of us setting fastest laps, one after the other. The three guys in the title fight. We've got a little bit out of shape there.
I don't think the line is really dry enough yet to start thinking about slicks. Let's hold on to the inters for a while longer.
Okay, Jeff, we've got plenty of fuel, so we're going to shove it into rich mix for a bit of extra straight line speed. Still chasing Max. And we know we've had scraps with Max in the past, like in Singapore. So we know he's used to defending and can do it very well. Better that time through that section. The tyres are starting to just let go a little bit on him. Feels like we're a little bit closer this time. Gone for it, and we got it. We had to be pretty aggressive in there, but we got the move done. Now Lewis is going to need to have a go. Off we go then. Fastest lap. So we were being held up by that Merc a little bit. Lewis is going to try and get Verstappen again here. Now they're going to, Lewis and Max are going to start to squabble with each other, I think.
Looks like some of those puddles are clearing. We're still on the right tyre for the time being, but we're not a million miles away from slick conditions.
Interesting. So we're not there yet, but we could be. So we are seeing the track drying out, I think. Yeah,
Good job. That was the
5.9.
fastest lap of the race so far.
So the times are tumbling, the skies are getting clearer. We're pulling out a lead now. It looks like Lewis and Max are right on each other's tails there. Battling for that second place. Which might not do them any good if we're going to win the race. It's been interesting, like we've had a couple of fraught Grand Prix with having to start a bit further down the pack. It shows that when we're on pole, or when we're at the front of the field in qualifying, we can get into the lead. We can control races from the
Some
front.
information on Stroll. They are out of the race.
Lance Stroll is out of the Grand Prix. Yeah, it just goes to show that once we've got the car underneath us and we settle into a rhythm like we saw at the beginning of the race, very unsettled, didn't get the tyres warmed up, and then we've settled into a pattern behind Max, closed him down, patient, got the move done. And then
Yellow
proceeded
flag.
to pull away from him. Lewis and Max, there's Lance Stroll on the left hand side.
Okay, clear.
There's Lewis and Max still battling down into the hairpin, so it's going to go right down to the wire for them as well. It didn't dry out enough to shift onto dry compound tyres, but conditions did improve. We're going to get the extra point for a fastest lap as well. 21 seconds to the rest of the field as well. That's quite a big margin. So we really have dominated today.
You've been awarded a time penalty for that last incident.
So we get a 3-second time penalty on the last corner.
Fantastic drive, and it means your driver's world champion. What a
And
result.
we win the
Enjoy it.
title. Get in.
And so the celebrations begin, and well earned they are indeed. It may have looked simple at times, but as any racing driver will tell you, competing at this level, at the very top, is anything but simple. There's no catching them now then. We have a new World Drivers' Champion.
Yeah.
That's a spectacular victory then, and with it, the championship is secure. It's been a magnificent season, and they thoroughly deserve the cheers of the crowd here today. Anthony, tell me, what was it that helped them achieve this success?
Well, they clearly have a car that comes alive in the kind of conditions we were dealing with today. It's a very balanced package in the wet, and what that means is that the drivers have confidence to attack. And having that confidence gets you on the power earlier, it lets you brake later, and can put you a long way up the road.
Here we are in the pit garage. Little cuddle from the engineer. Come on, boys. We've earned this. Well done.
Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for Driver of the Day?
I have to give it to Gardner. They demonstrated a very delicate touch in close proximity to other cars, as well as showing a lot of maturity and patience in difficult
Slamming
situations.
up the inside.
And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
So, even with the penalty, we still finished 3 seconds in front of Max Verstappen. So we had a 6-second lead at the end of the race. So really did string out at the front there. Max did his best to try and keep that championship alive. Lewis as well, just taking points off each other really. Ricciardo, 4th in the Red Bull. Russell couldn't get the job done. He has underperformed this year in that Mercedes, it has to be said. Lando Norris in the McLaren, again another good clutch of points for them. Sergio Perez in the Ferrari has finally got himself a good result. Carlos Sainz in the other Red Bull down in 8th, and then the 2 Renaults rounding out the points. A bit further down, Giuliano Alesi 15th, 16th, that's his average finish. Lance Stroll with the DNF. So, yeah, we'll have to see what happened. I think, do you know what? He pulled over at the side, didn't he? Pulled over at the side. It was probably gearbox or something like that again. So yeah, they've had issues, AlphaTauri, this season with their car. So no surprise there really. The standings confirmed. We are the drivers' champion, but Lewis is still in that battle for second place, 1 point ahead of Max now. That will be our target now for the rest of the season, is to make sure that Lewis gets that second place. So that's a complete clean sweep really. 1-2 in the drivers and then champions in the constructors. That's the main focus now. The only other thing I wanted to take note of was, yeah, I think that's Perez, 7 points for the season. So he got 1 point somewhere else. Okay. So that's only his second points finish for Ferrari. Wow. So the top 3 teams take the top 6 positions in the drivers, and yeah, it's all pretty much settled. I think it's just that second place in the drivers that we're keeping an eye on, and Ricciardo and Sainz, who's going to finish in front of the teammate out of those two. Let's have a look at some highlights. Actually looks dry there, but it looks way more grey and overcast from the cockpit. I actually thought we'd jump the start, but we must have just got it perfect. It's interesting that the filter on the replay almost looks like they've given it the dry, the sunny dry outlook there. That was us on Lewis. But yeah, it was very grey and horrible from the cockpit. So this, yeah, something is amiss here. But try and suspend your disbelief. As we followed Max around for lap after lap after lap, and streaked away from the rest of the field. We knew it was going to be only a matter of time before we hunted him down and got him. I think this might have been it. Ooh, just give him a little nudge as well on the way through. Just that little extra bit of aggression when it comes to Max. And then yeah, we just managed to get the, oh, there goes the bollard. We managed to get the gap pulled out at the end, so the penalty wasn't a factor either. Brought it round for the win. So that was it was an impactful Grand Prix. It was very controlled and measured for the second half of it, but certainly there was a lot of action in the first half. But absolutely chuffed to mint balls that we've got both titles in the bag. I'm keen to get the series finished off, and we'll get Lewis that second place now. So I think our role in the team is going to be rear gunner, and we're going to try and get Lewis some race wins, I think, or at the very least make sure that he finishes ahead of Verstappen, and play the team game now. So for what it's worth anyway. So with that said, if you enjoyed the video today, please drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already for more JDM racing action coming in the future. And I want to thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch this Grand Prix, and there will be another one coming very, very soon. So until next time, thanks for watching, guys.